Now joining me is Arise analyst Rotimi Kade to discuss the latest development from the United States, precisely the Epstein saga. He joins from New York. Now, Rotimi, break it down for us. How significant is it to have a sitting president suing a news outlet over a story?
Well, first of all, I think it's very damaging to the administration and by extension, also the news outlet. Should the investigation or the investigative reports is found to not be true. And I think in the past, when you look at the trail of lawsuits against news organizations, the Trump administrations have been having a upper hand in terms of how he has been compensated. I'll give you an example: the ABC in lawsuits where he sued one of their top anchors and also the organizations. He won in that lawsuit, and I think that has actually sent shivers down the spine of the news media wall here in the United States. If the president of the United States slam is most likely is going to win, and I think that's how significant this is in regards to the Epstein files. Perhaps we don't know the true story yet, but what the News Corps organization actually brought out, they said they're very confident about their reports and they will stand by it now and moving forward.
Now, let's talk about, the owner, the CEO of the, company Wall Street, talking about Rupert Murdoch, the owner there is. Now, does it look to you like someone who would back down from a legal battle that easily?
Well, first of all, you have to look at the relationship between Murdoch and Trump. Both of them, they've been, friends for a very long time. Just recently in February, it was at the White House. It was at White House where the president actually spoke very, beautifully of his character and how he has carried himself as as well as his news organization. You talk about perhaps is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful man in news media all around the world. And Trump likes to pally with people like that because he knows that that is a more like an impetus to whatever he wants to achieve. He has always been in the news from time immemorial. So his relationship with Rupert Murdoch was more like Siamese twins. However, for Rupert to actually come out and say, you know what, we are going ahead with this story, despite the fact that, according to White House, they got a hint that the story is going to come out, and they warned News Corps and Rupert Murdoch and his allies not to release it or face the consequences. That tells you that they're ready to go a long haul with Trump, despite their very good relationship.
And it seems like you said, Trump is falling out with a lot of friends he's becoming president. Talk about Elon and, of course, now Murdoch. Now, this lawsuit, Rotimi, makes President Trump the first sitting president to ever sue a media outlet for libel, by the way. So this suit, in a way, may make other media outlets stay off writing anything, against Trump.
Well, I'm going to agree with you on that because we've seen just recently this week the late night show host Stephen Colbert's show was announced that it's going to be canceled next year, and perhaps we know the reason why. This has been, he's been one of the so-called antagonists of Trump, and not just Stephen Colbert's show. We also have Joy Reid from the NBC, whose show was canceled as well. We also have somebody, Don Lemon in TNN, whose show was also canceled. So news organizations right now can just cope with the pressure that's coming from the White House, especially during the Trump administration, with the lawsuits that's coming right, left, and center. You want to know, you want to see that even though news organizations don't make that much money, but coughing out millions of dollars, even in a total of 10 billion in the case of News Corp and Rupert Murdoch, you want to say that news organizations are going to be taking a backseat at this time, not wanting to compete with the president, if especially the president is not backing down on his claim that it was never part of the Epstein case moving forward. That's going to be a more like a suppression of the free speech in the United States.
Now, what is Trump risking here? I mean, I'm thinking, what if the files, when released, indict him? How can his team defend that?
Well, we don't absolutely know what he's risking, but if this story tend to be true, I think it's going to be risking his presidency. Um, it's just less than a year into his presidency, and we're having all this, tumultuous times, and we don't know if this continues, how this is going to impact on his administration going forward. But what we know for sure is that some of these associates like Elon Musk and the rest of them are falling out of him. And this is really critical to his presidency because these are the people that actually backed him up for his return. Without these people, the likes of Rupert Murdoch and Elon Musk and some of his associates, I don't think President Trump has the better chance of coming back. But again, President Trump is gradually losing his base because of this Epstein file, because of his, complicities of it in terms of why he's not coming out to give his own side of the story. We all know it's in the news for a very long time that him and Epstein were longtime friends until they fell out sometimes around 2003. But a lot of people are more curious about what transpired when they were friends, when they were going to parties. Is Trump involved in it? Even though Trump said, oh, well, I'm not involved in it. But now they said, we want to know in terms of how, the investigation so far. Don't forget, in 2003, the investigative reports had this particular letter that's been sent to Epstein on his 50th birthday as part of the evidence that was built against them that led him to go to prison. So a lot of things are very unclear to a lot of people, and people would like to know whether the president was truly involved in it. And some of his supporters are even saying, you know what, just come out clean. We all know that you guys are friends before. So why not just come out and just, let the world know what actually transpired? Perhaps it's not going to affect his presidency.
Right. We look forward to how that pans out with Murdoch in the coming days. Thank you so much, Rotimi Kade, for joining us now.